everybody. So today we're having a special interview with Nicole. What's your last name, Nicole?
It's Ensmenger.
There you go. And
that's why I usually only introduce myself as Nicole.
Yeah, my last name's hard too, but it's short. But so Nicole and I are today going to talk about Norwex. And if you've never heard about Norwex before, you are in for a treat because Norwex is life-changing. I was introduced to Norwex about, I want to say 8 years ago. And then Nicole and I are in a group together, and Nicole is a Norwex consultant. And she talked about Norwex, and I signed up so that I could get free and discounted products. And I am this month hosting a party. So if anyone would like discounted products, I will hand over 20% discount over to you for your purchase in the month of December. And then if anyone is interested in the future, you can reach out to Nicole and she can take really good care of you. Anyway, so Nicole is going to tell us all about Norwex because I love the products. My husband loves the products. All my kids use the products. They've moved out of the house and they all have them in their homes. But I'm not an expert on it, and so I can't explain how amazing it is as well as Nicole can. So Nicole, tell us, what is Norwex? What is the reason for using Norwex?
What is the reason for using Norwex? Well, I love using Norwex because it has simplified my cleaning. And it has saved me a ton of money, and I'm also doing it chemically free. And so I am getting rid of all of those toxic, harmful chemicals out of my home and out of my lifestyle. And so it's allowed me to not have to hold my breath when I run in to clean the shower after spraying it down because of all the toxins that ended up triggering my asthma. I also love it because it is safe for my pets. And while I don't have children, it is also extremely safe for children. And so children love to help out. And it's a great opportunity to be able to safely say, here you go, here. All you need is literally a cloth and water. And you can pretty much clean just about your entire house, which blows my mind every single time.
Now, most people don't believe that at first.
Right.
My husband was very skeptical to just use water when we first bought everything about 1.5 years ago. Now, he definitely just uses water most of the time. But tell us, what is the secret that we can just use water?
Well, the secret is in the microfibers themselves. And so the microfiber itself is extremely fine. And what makes ours different is most everyday microfiber that you can get at the store, to be considered microfiber, it's 1/6 the thickness of a human hair. Our microfiber is different because it is actually 1/200th thickness of a human hair. And therefore, we have more surface area and more fingers, if you will, kind of grabbing onto that dirt and grime and mess and holding it in. And then it's not until you go over to the sink and release it under running water that you're releasing that dirt. And so that is one of the magical things about it. It is incredibly dense. Literally, if you were to take this one cloth and unravel it, it would stretch from Canada to the Gulf of Mexico. That is just one cloth. That is how much fiber is in there. So it's incredibly, incredibly dense. Another thing that makes these cloths a cut above the rest is the fact that they have a silver ion actually embedded into the fiber itself. And we refer to it, their trademark is backlock. And so what that means is it actually, once you kind of wipe everything off and you go over to the sink, you rinse it and you agitate it under running water, anything that's left in that cloth is going to actually die off because the silver ion gets in there and breaks down the cells of the bacteria and the mold, and therefore it's not able to reproduce, dying off, and now it's more or less self-purifying within 24 hours, which, is pretty amazing.
Yes. Silver is an amazing metal. I did not appreciate silver as much as I do today.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised with silverware, and my mother offered me her silverware about 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was like, no, I'm perfectly fine with my metal stuff, until I learned that having silverware will keep you healthier when you are stabbing your food with the fork, and then eating the silver, or eating off of your silverware. So
Exactly.
I have now taken half of my grandmother's silver set from my mom because I've learned that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, silver's amazing.
Yeah,
Sorry.
do a little research on being born with a silver spoon in your mouth. It's not just because you're rich. It has to do with the health benefits of using silver.
Yes, that was the term that maybe it was a presentation you gave that I learned that. It was a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, silver is amazing, and I think that's the secret to Norwex. But now I also know that the small fibers are another secret.
The ultrafine fibers, the backlock in it, and the density of it. There's so much of it in there that it just kind of wipes it in and locks it in there, and it doesn't transfer germs from one surface to another surface. And oftentimes, when you're talking to somebody who's sharing about Norwex, they like to do a presentation. It's the chicken demo, and that's just to kind of demonstrate the protein. And the protein is one of the smallest molecules out there, and it is everywhere. And we will actually do a test that shows you where you, if you were to swab it, it would turn biuret purple, and that shows that there's protein present. However, after you wipe the surface with just your cloth and water, that there is no protein present, because we could swab that, not just the surface, but we could actually swab the cloth itself too. And then stick it in the biuret, and it's still not going to turn it purple, which every time I do the demo, and I've been doing it for about 3 years now, it still blows my mind that I could swab this cloth and it's not going to transfer the proteins anywhere. And so that literally means that I could wipe one countertop, I could go and wipe the floor. Not that I would do that, but you can do it because and it has been tested that it locks it away. And those germs stay in there.
That is mine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about the correlation of toxins in regular cleaning products that most of us have used most of our lives, and the effects on our environment and people.
Absolutely. Those disinfectant wipes that we all know and love, and we were probably using in abundance, especially over the past couple of years, more than ever. This was one of those mind-blowing things for me that really opened my eyes, and I never even realized. But something that I never did is I never read the back of the bottle or the container and actually read the directions on, first of all, how to use them. And if you do, you will notice that it actually says that you need to disinfect that surface. You need to leave it visibly wet with that toxic chemical for at least 4 minutes. And then once you have cleaned and sanitized it, you now need to take a separate cloth and wipe it away with potable water. because otherwise you are leaving that sticky residue of chemicals on that surface, which means anything that touches that surface is now transferring those toxic chemicals either to yourself, and that is transferred either through your skin. And so anything that gets on our skin takes about 26 seconds before it's absorbed. Okay, the other thing is we're touching it, or our food is touching it, and now we're sticking it in our mouth. And so now we're ingesting those toxins.
Wow.
Right? And if you're using the spray toxins, then you're inhaling them. And so all of these toxins are coming into our body and creating this body burden. So it is affecting us. And if you look at it, they are classified as a pesticide because they are killing it chemically, where the Norwex cloths are actually removing it mechanically. And so it's not even there, and literally just this in water. The other thing is you are creating, when you're using those, and I was just as guilty as I would go through one of those containers every time I went to clean my house. You're creating a ton of waste, and you're killing the trees that have to be made into these cloths to soak in the chemicals, to wipe them down, to go and be thrown away, and then transported into a landfill where they sit forever. You also have the plastic containers, which I believe even on the containers themselves say that they should not be reused for anything else. And so you will need to recycle them. And if you know anything about recycling, about 85% of all of the things that we actually put out to be recycled end up in a landfill. And so even though we think we're doing well, it doesn't always get recycled. And sometimes it even takes more energy and resources to recycle something than it does to produce something new. And so it's easier just to throw it away to a landfill. So when we're using those, we're creating waste for the environment. We are also ingesting a lot of those toxic chemicals into our bodies. And so those are two of the reasons why, I guess, to not use those products.
Yeah, wow. And so very often teachers will use those wipes and hand them to the kids to wipe down their desks.
Yep. And even if they're not handing them to the kids to wipe down their desks, maybe the teacher themselves are wiping down the desk with those cloths and not going back and wiping them off afterwards. And so a better option is using the EnviroCloth. And a lot of teachers are starting, once they realize this, they are switching over to the EnviroCloth themselves, because they are rinse and reuse, hang them up to dry, self-purifying. We actually sell them in a smaller size that is about 1/4 of the size of our originals. And they're really nice and easy for the children to use. So the kids can actually go over and keep their own personal EnviroCloth, go over to the sink, get it wet, wipe it down. When they're done, rinse it off, hang it up to dry, and it's ready for the next time they have to clean any surfaces that they're going to be using, decreasing that spread of germs.
I was just thinking about when I used to work in daycare, we would wipe down the table with those disinfectant wipes and then put the kids' snacks on a paper towel right there. And it was still wet usually because we needed to be quick. But we thought we were cleaning the surface for them.
And that is something that we have been taught through commercials and advertising and very clever marketing. When they're showing people using those, they're showing them going, wiping it off, and then going on with their everyday life. The other thing that I noticed when I would use those cloths is they always left a sticky residue. And so when you are using any of these chemical-laden, these toxic chemical-laden cleaning products, they're laying down a layer of stickiness, causing you to actually have to clean more often. And so when you're using your microfiber, you're cleaning away the surface that it is actually squeaky clean, and it feels different. And when you feel clean with a microfiber cloth and you feel clean with the chemicals, you start to notice the difference. And the other thing to remember too is a lot of the fragrances are added into to make them smell good. And those fragrances are not good for us. They could actually trigger the asthma and other breathing conditions. And I know a lot of people can get headaches from those fragrances. And so this becomes one of those things where clean, we have to re-educate ourselves that clean does not necessarily have a smell because we are not adding any of that extra fragrances. However, I do know that a lot of people do like things to smell fresh and clean, and something that partnered very nicely with our cloths are the use of high quality essential oils. And so if you are utilizing any of the essential oils, they can give you that fresh, clean smell along with the other benefits along with it, in addition to getting that clean surface.
You know, it's funny. This morning I went to the kitchen and to make my cup of tea, and my kitchen smelled like meat. And I was like looking around, I'm like, there's no more meat. Well, my husband had cooked food and didn't wipe down the counter. And so I just went with my Enviro cloth. No, actually I have the towel. What is the towel one called?
The counter cloths that are
Yes.
the size of a paper towel, select a size paper towels.
So that's my favorite. That's what we have multiple packs of in our little house, the storage place for it. And so anyway, I went and I grabbed one and I wet it and I wiped down the counter, and you know, within 30 seconds, I no longer smelled meat in my kitchen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was just like that.
It's amazing when you are able to clean the surface, and those counter cloths, wow, what a difference they have made. And I know a lot of people, I personally had a horrible paper towel habit where I would use one of those select size over and over again when I would probably use about 4 or 5 of them just in the process of making my breakfast in the morning. And so I was really bad. And so when somebody told me I wasn't allowed to use paper towels anymore, well, you're not allowed. There's a better option out there. I'm like, no way. But through the transition, we now have, I think, 1 roll of paper towels that has lasted us years. And that's just because I'm not quite ready to do the whole doggy vomit and other excrement. So
Absolutely.
The paper towels do stay around for that, but you can use, and a lot of people do use their cloths to clean that stuff up. I choose to hang on to the paper towels for that.
Well, and then for cleaning the floors too, we've got the wonderful option of the floor mop, which I recently bought an extra pad, which is the one that is for tile, and that's the only pad I use now. I love that. It really gets all the dirt and grime off.
Yes, though the mop was one of the reasons why I chose to sign up for. I was at my very first Norwex party, workshop, demonstration, whatever you want to call it. And she brought out the mop, and I was like, oh my gosh, because I was one that would use those wet disposable pads laying down that floor just for my puppies to come in and walk all over, lick their paws, they soak it up into their paws, and I'm like, I need a mop. Love, love, love the mop. It is so quick and easy to just sweep up all of the dog hair. The tile pad that you're talking about, they do have several different types of pads, but the tile pad is nice because it has a little bit more aggressiveness to it. So you can do a little bit more scrubbing if you feel as though you need it. But again, you're just using water. It has the same qualities as most of our cloths, but it just like the Enviro cloth itself, where it's got the back lock in it, it's got the ultra thin microfiber, you've got the density, and it's almost kind of fun for you to go and you mop, you get all of the dirt up, your cloth is dirty, you take it over to your sink and you just run it under water and you just watch all of the dirt go down the drain, out the way. You hang it up to dry, When it is looking a little bit more ratty, you can throw it directly into your washing machine, directly into your dryer, using, of course, we're going to say the Norwex laundry detergent, but you want to make sure that you're using, when you're cleaning any of our cloths, something that is free of the dyes, free of the fillers. Fillers are huge in a lot of laundry detergents, free of any fragrances. And also you don't want to use fabric softener, because those things will clog up the cloths and make them less effective. So you want to make sure you are definitely using the cleaning products to do your laundry.
And I at first did not want to spend the price of the laundry detergent. So I was like, that's a lot of money. But it has lasted a very long time, that it really doesn't end up being that much money.
It ends up saving you money in the long run, because you use so much less of it to do the same amount of laundry. And so one bag typically lasts a family of 2 to 4, depending on how much laundry you're doing, of course, at least 4 to 6 months. Some people can even get away with 6 months on one bag of laundry detergent.
Yeah, once I really schooled my husband, who helps with the laundry sometimes, because at first he was using way too much detergent.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, this stuff's too expensive for you to use that much. And so I got rid of the bigger scoopers and only have the little one around, and told him, not to use too much. And now it lasts. So, yeah. Now, I have a question about the laundry, because I find that I wash all my Norwex together, because I use fabric softener for everything else. So I only wash the Norwex. But sometimes the washing machine doesn't sense that there's anything in there. And so the spin cycle is tricky. Do you have any tips on that?
Yes, that is such an excellent question. And so with the front loaders, high efficiency washing machines, I have been told that you need to get your cloths wet before you, get them wet before you stick them in the washing machine. And then the washing machine will then sense that you have cloths in there. And so you did bring up a couple great tips. So one thing is the fact that you always want to wash your cloths with other Norwex cloths, or you want to make sure that they are not being washed with items such as a cotton or natural fiber that has a tendency of breaking off. So if you do have maybe your workout clothing that is the spandex types of materials, that is okay to wash with this, but you want to keep it away from any of the cotton clothing types of materials that create lint, because that will clog it up. But the other thing to think about, and you may want to consider getting the laundry balls or the fluff and tumble balls. They are organic wool, and you stick them in your dryer. And so I am curious, why do you choose to use fabric softener?
My husband wants his clothes to smell clean.
Smell clean.
I finally found a fabric softener that claims to be all natural, that has a strong enough scent that he's okay with.
So what a fabric softener is doing, it is coating your clothing with a chemical. And then that chemical is being worn on you. And as we talked about before, 26 seconds on the skin, it's soaking into the body. And so are there other options for that scent, to get that scent? And so some people do take the essential oils and they might put them onto the dryer balls so that they kind of get that scent, to have that scent, or learn to just, that again, clean does not have a smell, and that way you're not utilizing that. Fabric softener also has a tendency of clogging up your filters and can potentially end up with a fire hazard. So just be aware of making sure that you keep those dryer vents and filters clean if you are using it. But I know I've kind of gotten to the balls. I used to be one of those. I love the smell. I love the feel, but those dryer, those fluff and tumble balls, they're wonderful. You stick them in there, they get in there and they beat your clothes up so that they're not crunchy, so that they actually soften it because they're beating them up in there. And so they end up, and it cuts your drying time in quite a bit.
I do use
Yeah.
those. Yeah, and I put essential oils in them when we don't have fabric softener, but he can definitely tell a difference. But maybe after watching this video, he'll be convinced otherwise.
You never
All
know.
right.
You never know. It is one small change, and I look at it as every little change that we can make is a step in the right direction. Not everybody is ready to let go of everything, but if we could decrease it by one habit, then we are making an improvement in our lives and for ourselves and for our family.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if we try to do too many things at once, then we tend to just be overwhelmed. Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So let's talk about how Norwex can encourage kids to help clean.
Oh my goodness. Well, there are all kinds of fun ways to do that because kids love to help out. And something that they can do is you can give them the dusting mitts. And if you get 2 dusting mitts, you can kind of make a game out of it. And you can put them on both hands and they can run around and try and dust everything. The mop is adjustable. And so you could put on the smaller head for the mop, and then they could run around and they could sweep the floor and they feel like they're helping out. Again, you're not using the chemicals, you're only using the water. But I know that you were also talking about like something that's fun for the kids to maybe encourage them in washing of their hands, because if it's fun, then they want to do it, right? And so after they go in, they run their hands underwater and they use their soap, they go over, they dry their hands with their towel, and what happens to the towel? It ends up falling to the floor, getting all the dirt from the floor. Norwex has a solution for that, and it is these cute little pet to dry. And so you have your microfiber nubbins here. This is a cute little dragon. They come in, I think there's a cat and a puppy dog, and there's a unicorn, and I think right now there may even be a reindeer. So they have them come out in a bunch of different ones. But again, you have the microfiber, you have the back lock in it, and it has a loop that will, let me get this so you can see it. It has a loop so that you can actually loop it over top of the rod itself. And now when they go to dry and rub their hands all over it, it is not going to fall onto the floor. And so it's not until you actually take it off of the rod to throw it in the washing machine that they could do, that you take it off. Some kids even like to hang on to it and use it as their whoopee, or their like just kind of pet it and hang on, play with it. And so it can be a very tactile, fun desensitization toy for them to play with too. And I've even known a few adults to do that. But you know, it's fun, right? It's fun to play with.
My mom ordered the purple one, and she has it hanging on her stove handle. And so then she doesn't have to keep bending over and picking up the towel on the floor. And she loves it. Purple's her favorite color. And I don't know if purple's still available, but that was the color last year. So so it can also be used in the kitchen, and there's adult versions without the little toys.
Yes, there are the adult versions. They have some, they have a couple pretty patterns. They came out with a very light graphite and an oatmeal one, and they have one with woodland animals on it right now that is just for the holidays, in a beautiful sage and like a light tan cream color mix. And they're beautiful, and they're so soft to pet, and they are great for the kitchens, the bathrooms, or even if you, some people with children, they may take them and put them onto the stroller when they're out and about, and so the kids can actually go and wash their hands and then dry it. Or maybe you're just using water and you're wiping them off as you're going down the street because they were eating ice cream. wipe them down with your travel cloths, and you're good to go. And they could just kind of pet it and go.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I recently learned, and it could have been your presentation, I don't know, but I learned that those air dryers in the bathroom are disgusting.
That was not my presentation, but
that was someone else's.
Those things, I just look at the area around it, and it's just like, oh my gosh.
Well, apparently what blows out of them is not very sanitary.
Oh,
so, yeah. So that's great to have one on the stroller and not have to have it blowing on your kid's face sitting in the stroller.
Sure. Your kids don't have a stroller. You can also tie it onto your bag, and it could just be something fun that entertains them.
Nice. Okay. And then let's talk about gift giving for Norwex. We can start with teachers. What would you recommend as a good Norwex gift for a teacher?
Oh, well, great gifts for teachers are the EnviroCloths. They are absolutely a must, and the more they get, the more they could use throughout the entire, and for each individual child. They have the hand wash. The other thing is, if you have glasses, I noticed you have glasses on. Something that is one of their wonderful things are the optic cloths, and these things are just fabulous. People who have glasses and have used other types of cleaning methods, they try this and they're just like, I didn't realize my glasses were actually that dirty. And
it's so fast too. It cleans the glasses so quickly.
And if you think about it, it's also amazing for your phones, your tablets. When you think about all of the germs, these suckers are actually more dirty than a toilet seat, than the faucets, than we touch all of this stuff, right? And then we touch our phones. And then what do we do with them? We put them up to our faces. And so taking time once in a while to actually clean them off is very important to do. And you can see your screen a little bit better too. So those are a couple really awesome gifts for teachers.
Yes, those are great. And so for the kids, we've got the towels with the little characters.
And if you take something like this cute little dragon and you pair it with maybe a story book of some sort, that might make, or another toy, that might make it kind of fun for them to receive this, and they get a little bit excited about it then too.
Yes. Okay. And any other gift giving ideas?
Gift giving ideas. Oh my gosh, there's so many wonderful gift giving ideas, but I think one of the most amazing gifts that anyone can receive are the body cloths. They are phenomenal. The face and body cloths they are soft. They're the size of a washcloth, but literally that is all you need when it comes to cleaning your face. You no longer need all of the other cleaning products. It removes the tough lipstick, it removes the mascara, it removes the face paint that is meant to stay on there. You wipe it away, you rinse it up, you hang it up to dry. You could use it again the next morning, and it comes in a variety of different colors. They have it for children. They have it in the tight, fine weave, and they also now have it in a very plush size too. And so it is a staple and a must as part of that. And then if you want to pair it with something, you could pair it with either a hand towel, you could pair it with the face creams, the moisturizers, or they also offer like some other fun spa package options. Might be the hair wrap, which is wonderful. You and I both have long hair, and I don't know about you, but mine is nice and thick, and so it takes forever to dry. And so what I do is I get out of the shower, I will wrap my head up in the hair wrap. I will go about doing everything else. And it just soaks away all of the moisture in the hair so that when you go to do your hair, it takes less time, less energy, and it happens so much quicker. And so it's really awesome. Again, you have the back lock, you hang it up to dry. You're not going to get the mold. It's not going to end up smelling like those other ones that don't have that back lock in it. And so if you take that and maybe you pair it with the body mitt or a face scrub or some other, maybe one of the lotions, they have a sugar plum lotion right now. It just kind of really makes getting in and out of the shower a little more enjoyable, getting, that self-care that we all need, especially this time of year, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's like a spa in your own bathroom.
Mm-hmm. And if you are somebody who likes to give fruit as a gift, maybe you pair that fruit with a fruit wash, because you don't want to just kind of give them a nice little thing of fruit and then you're giving them all those toxic chemicals that are all over their fruit. You give them an opportunity to actually clean them and teach them a new way to kind of clean up their vegetables. So adding that might be fun too.
Awesome. Well, those were some amazing tips, Nicole. Thank you so much for sharing all this information with us.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and so we'll add the link to the catalog so you can check out the winter catalog and the specials going on in the month of December. And if you want to place a purchase with me, I will give you 20% off your entire purchase. Mm-hmm. And then if you purchase a certain amount of stuff on top of the 20% off, you can also receive some freebies, right?
Depends on what they're getting and what is being offered. And so there are options that if they would like to have a party or host a demo, then they can earn all kinds of fun free products in the month of December, actually all year long. They have different ones every single month. And I'm trying to think, what do we have going on? A couple big things this month are the mat. The entryway mat is one, and we have the snowflake soap dispenser. It's a foaming soap dispenser and soap that goes along with it. And I am drawing a blank to some of the other stuff. But you also get like the Enviro cloth. You can get the optic scarf, the window cloth. We did not talk about the window cloth and getting rid of our window cleaners and the paper towels. You when you have the window cloth and the Enviro cloth, that, I mean, literally you get your windows so incredibly clean. You can actually clean your windows within direct sunlight and you will be streak free, guaranteed. Which not a lot of glass cleaners can say that when you're using glass cleaner and paper towel, or even the vinegar and newspaper that a lot of people have used in the past. You still get those streaks, but not with Norwex.
Awesome.
So yes, you get all kinds of great goodies when you host. And if you are interested in becoming a consultant, again, there's a lot of options so that you can get your kit for free or very low cost, and all kinds of great product along with it. And if you want to know more, I'd love to have a conversation with you about that.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicole.